but it has to be 90 degrees. Okay. So once you set that up, basically you need to know your latitude and longitude for your location. Right. We are in Columbus here. Here at this location it's 83 west and 40 north. So you write those down. And you can find the latitude and longitude on Google Maps. You can find it. There's many places on our website also. Put your zip code, it will tell you the latitude and longitude. Once you do that, then you need to set up the motor angle. It says latitude here, so you just set it up the same value as your latitude. Okay. Once you set that up, that's fixed. Don't change it. You don't do any adjustments on this. Tighten it on both sides. Okay. Now for each motor, there's a different elevation angle on the disc. Okay. Some motors have, because of the shaft angle and the way the motor is designed, the dish will have to work, to go along with the motor. So for this, the PowerTech motor, the angle on the dish is around 35 minus your declination angle, and the declination angle depends on your latitude. There's a table for that. For Columbus it's about 6 degrees. Okay, so 35 minus 6, 29. So you set the dish elevation angle on 29. Okay, that's there. Now the nice thing about this motor, the shaft has a hole that goes through, and it's really centrally located. I mean, once you put the dish pole mount through it and you put this screw, this will be right at zero position. It will be centered. Okay. Now when you start with your motor and this, make sure that the shaft here is at zero position. Okay, it's not rotated like that. So when you try to aim at your true south, everything is in the same line. Right? If I'm going too fast, stop me, okay? If you guys understand what I'm talking about, that's good. Every location has a true south, because what do you mean by true south? Because on the compass there's a magnetic deviation. Okay? For Columbus, the magnetic deviation is about 8 degrees. So you add that to your 180, that becomes 188. Okay. I think it's, wait a minute, for Columbus I believe it's 6 degrees, not 8 degrees. So you set it up at 186. So you hold the compass like that, stay a little bit far away from the disc, and aim at 186. Okay. And then just eyeball it, and set up this whole thing at 186. Okay. Tighten these, but don't tighten them too much, because we still might need to adjust the true south angle. Okay. And basically the reason why we use the true south angle, because that's the highest point in the arc when the dish moves. So once you set that up, now you're ready to align it. The best way I use to align the motorized system is called USAL, USALS, in the receiver. And we'll go to the receiver, I'll show you how to do it. Basically in the receiver, you enter your latitude and longitude in that menu. And then now the receiver and the motor will know your location. Where are you located? If you are in California, it's different than if you are in Ohio. Okay? With USALs, let's say on the receiver, we want to go to Galaxy 25, which is at 97 west. Our location here is 83 west, our longitude. So 97, that means the dish will need to move to the west. Okay, and we're looking at about 14 degrees difference. So the receiver will send the signal to the motor, and it will tell it, okay, just move certain amount of degrees. 14 degrees plus or minus, there is a few, there's a calculation to it. It's not exactly the same. So it will move and it will stop. Right? Once it stops, if all the angles are correct and perfect, you should see a signal and quality show up on the screen right away. But if it's not, and most of the time it might not be, you need to do a small adjustment. The first thing I do to adjust this is I adjust my true south. Okay? because that's the angle that you might be off. Everything else you know that what angles you set it up, but the through south you might be off. So I hold this like that with both hands. I loosen these a little bit, not much. I don't want it to slide. I don't want it too loose to wobble around. And then I move it, very small amount, very slow. And I watch the screen, watch the quality. Okay, if moving it, you know, let's say plus or minus 5 degrees in either direction does not show any quality at all on the screen, that means my dish elevation still might be off a little bit. So I adjust these, you know, maybe up a degree or down 1 degree. 1 degree at a time, don't move too much. Okay.
Now do you adjust for that signal when you have it moved over to like 97 degrees?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you don't move it back to due south then?
No,
try to
I don't move it back to due south anymore. I leave it at the angle that it was at, because that's the satellite we want to get the signal from. So we leave it at that, and then we do the adjustment again, small amounts back and forth. Most likely you will get the quality, you know, if you do the small adjustments here and small movements here. Once you get the quality, maximize the quality. See how much the quality is showing? Maximize it by using the through south adjustment. When you get the maximum you can get, tighten these. Now adjust the dish elevation up or down, very small amount, to get the highest you can get on the quality. Once you do that, tighten these. And that pretty much should put you on the arc. You know, you're done. But to verify if you got the whole arc, just go to a couple of satellites, one on the east, one on the west. You know, maybe Galaxy 20, Galaxy 10 on 23 west. I would go to that. SPS 6 maybe on the west, on the east, and see if you're getting the quality on those two. Most of the time, if you use U-South, you use this method, you should be all set to go. Some of the things that sometimes people have issues with, and you know they don't realize it, is that the mast is not vertical. They don't pay attention to that. They don't set it vertical. They think maybe a degree is not going to make a difference. It will make a difference. You know?
That's what you mean when you're
because you will be wasting so much time. Right? You know, you will get maybe a satellite or two, but you won't get all the satellites.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the mass is the issue, and then let's say the mass is perfect, vertical, plumb, no problem, solid. When you put the dish and the motor on it, it's not moving. It's not like leaning one way or the other. Then the other problem people do sometimes they don't set this on the correct angle, on the latitude angle. And the manufacturers, you know, they really did a lot of research on their motors. And once you set it to the latitude, it is a precise alignment. Okay, so you really have to put it on the latitude. And there's like a, you know, this marker. Different motors have different markers on them. So make sure that is set, and don't change that. There's no need. I would not tighten these too much because this is aluminum. You know, this is steel.
Okay.
You know, if you tighten it too much, you're gonna strip the threads on the motors. You know, just tighten it enough, but it's not. You know, you're not like trying to. You know, it doesn't need to be too tight. Okay? Sometimes some dishes you might be off on this here on the angle. You know, that might be off a few degrees. I would say that's pretty normal on most of the dishes. You know, they are not precise. And also the angles here, the scale, it breaks it by 5 degrees. It doesn't have like 5, 6, 7, 8. It goes from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. You know,
and then as you start readjusting it, it starts to like scrape off. So you really don't know at that point.
So that might be also off. Always, you know, tighten these screws. You don't want to start with loose screws here, because that will throw your angles off also. On the LMB, when you set up a motorized dish, always the LMB needs to be at 0 skew. There's no need for it to be skewed, because as you see, when the dish moves, it will skew the angle on the LMB. Because if you look at it like that, it's